A historic signal has fired and we can start measuring our upside probabilities. Statistics can often determine targets pretty well, so let's see if this over 73% probability historical signal has what it takes to give us the long-awaited upside. Welcome back to the channel on this Thunder Thursday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into ticker symbol AMC. Let's kill 'em, team. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, do everything necessary to get this thing to live long, thrive, and survive. Let's go ahead and take a look at AMC here on the daily chart. Still coming at you a little bit under the weather here, guys. Not feeling exactly the most exciting, right? But it's all good. Let's go ahead and go over the statistics here, because there is a very important signal that actually fired off for AMC on this daily time frame, right? So first of all, this is a back test performed by one of my master students, right? Very good master student, Daya. Mad shout out to my boy here for putting together this analysis here for us, right? This is using the same exact model, the footprint model that the ARCa Bulls have been using here for quite some time now. And this is displaying an upper probability here for AMC's potential upside, right? So let's go ahead and go over the criteria here. Anytime that volatility, the spectrum line, right? This would be the component. Anytime that the component has fired, it means that it's actually moved beyond the green line here, right? That's the 15% threshold. Anytime that that component has fired beyond that, that's when the signal has actually gone off, and these statistics can be in play. Now, just so that you can see here, we're just going to go ahead and zoom out so you can see the iterations measured, right? This is the entire trading history of the AMC asset on the daily time frame where this analysis has been calculated here, right? So we're using statistics. We're using the standard bell curve, right, in order for us to get us this upper bound probability, right, guys? So let's just go ahead and go over that firing of the signal right now, right? So remember, anytime that the volatility component has moved upside of that 15%, that's when the signal has fired. And we can see here that clearly it has broken that 15%. And out of 64 total iterations, we have 47 that have been guessed correctly towards that upside. And that has given us here a 73.43% probability that we would get that upside thrust, right? Now, that upside thrust is actually leading us to about a 13.68% upper, right? So let's go ahead and measure that 13.68% from the firing of this signal, right? So now that we know that the firing of the signal happened at the open of this daily candle, the one that we just completed today, right? So the opening valuation would be right around that 445. So let's go ahead and snap this thing to a magnet right here. Make sure that we can observe what that probability would be, right? So somewhere along the lines of here, let's measure that upside to about, yeah, you know what? Good. Let's get rid of the magnet now that we have it connected to the opening of the bar and go in to 13.68. Sorry, guys, 11.63%, right? That's going to be your average upside thrust. So let's go ahead and go over that now. So 11.63%. Let's go, and go, right? So here is your average upside thrust from whenever that signal fires, right? So 11.60, that's okay. This is taking us to roughly around $4.97. Now, do not fret here, right? Because there is still the calculations of upper bound for standard deviation, right? So that's going to take us to right around, and you know what? We actually have a standard deviation as well. So why don't we go ahead and calculate that standard deviation too? I need you to know what the standard deviation is, right? So the standard deviation is telling us here that in case price action deviates from the direction that we want it to go in, it does have the probability of deviating about that 13.20%. Now, I will say that 13.27% is actually pretty drastic here, right? Or 20, let's see, 13.20 or 208, right? So let's just go ahead and kind of jot it down right about here. That 2-1 should be pretty good. Any day now, right? There we go. So that would take us to a valuation of about $3.86, of which I don't think would happen, right? The momentum is already, and volatility is already suggesting a continuation to that upside, right? So let's go ahead and now mark this off as an upside probability as well, right? Because as soon as we continue to the upside and we beat that 11.62% upside or 63%, The standard deviation will be the next target to get to the upside bound. So let's go ahead and put that there from the opening of the signal. So 13.21, right? So we can go ahead and calculate it just like this right here. There we go. So we would be getting a target of about $5.04. Now, just in case we combat that complete upside there, team, there is a probability here that we can actually get the upper bound of around 24.8, almost 84%, right? And that would be the upper bound of your first standard deviation. Actually, you know what? That could be, yep, that could be the upper bound of the first standard deviation right here. So let's go ahead and put that in there immediately, right? So just like this here, we're going to do it from the firing of that candle, right? From the opening of the daily candle that we just closed today. So let's see, that's going to be 24.84, right? Let's go ahead and put it in just like this here, 24.8, almost there, almost there. That should be about close enough there. So that's taking us to a valuation of about $5.55, right? So remember, this is from, all of this is calculated from the firing of today's candle, which was right around that 445. So let's go ahead and kind of mark off here a little bit of a trend line right there, right? So this is the firing of the signal. So let's go ahead and kind of just jot it down here, right? We're going to do signal fire. Perfect. All right. So now that we got the signal fire here, we can go ahead and now continue our analysis, right? Perfect. So now let's go ahead and put these, the little receipts here, right? Just like we always do, because, you know, sometimes we want to know exactly what those targets would be. Now, remember, guys, that the signal just fired. I'm going to go ahead and show you something on volatility here that I want you to see, right? So that's going to be your first bound right here. This is going to be your second one right here, right? The standard deviation upside, and the upper bound of the first standard deviation would be the next right about here, right? So let's go ahead and just get these jotted down just like that. Okay, great. So now, yeah, let's go ahead and step into volatility here and take a look at something. Usually when we get this, when we get the break of the signal here, there is a volatility spike, meaning that there is continuation to be seen, right? Now, the daily time frame is still kind of pivoted towards that bottom side, right? Now, it's all good that it's pivoted towards the bottom side. That's no problem. I guess I just want to make sure that you are aware that that downside pivot is kind of still there, right? It's all good. So, but this looks corrective, and the reason we can tell that it's corrective is because the 12-hour time frame is already pivoted towards that upside and currently expanding too. The 8-hour time frame is also expanding, and we also have that upper bound too, right? So if we are looking back a little bit more, the 6-hour time frame, check it out. We have that break of volatility, upside momentum here, and you can see that stochastic momentum is pivoted towards that upside as well pretty nicely, right? So the 4-hour time frame is also upside pivot here, and we are expanding currently. So this is looking pretty good overall. Not a problem there, right, guys? So if we are able to see that we are going to get a continuation to the upside, look at this, right? 3-hour time frame still pivoted towards that upside. Bi-hourly time frame, huge upside pivot on that with some expansion. This is crazy. Hourly time frame does have that little bit of a pullback. If you do know how I calculate these things, you know that I'm going to want that hourly time frame pullback so that we can gain some type of entry, right? So if we were to determine some type of entry here, I would say that it would be very limited, and I do think that there is a continuation to the upside almost immediately here, right? So if I were to put a quick guess here, I would say, man, that's actually very, very small. It would be right around the opening of the signal and 451. So 445 to around 448 could be the pullback area, immediate short term, and continuation to that, and continuation to the upside here. So we're looking at here the current average true range on an hourly bar, right? That's telling us that this bar can move about 4 cents, just a little over 4 cents anytime that it opens, right? So we're at 451 right now. Yeah, 4 cents is going to take us to roughly around 447 here. So, and we're talking about 448 to 445. What's the center? 447 at the 50%, right? That's literally where I think we're going to go based on mathematics, based on average true range, and then we could get that continuation to the upside, right? So be very careful with the way that you're practicing here with AMC, guys. The reason why I know these things and the reason why they do play out sometimes the way that we believe them to be is because I am a stock trading instructor, guys. So please make sure to get in touch with me, because that course, the master's course for the beginners, trading and charting mentorship, is actually going to start this Sunday. Okay, enrollment is going to close here, and we are reaching the limit on those seats. Okay, so make sure to get in touch with me right away. There's still time. Okay, so ArcMastersCourse at gmail.com. I want to see you front and center there. Stop making excuses. Let's go ahead and make better portfolios out of your pockets, right? Good stuff here. So ArcMastersCourse at gmail.com. Remember, this is going to be starting here this Sunday, okay? It really is for beginners, okay? And that's going to lead into strategies mentorship. Then that strategies mentorship is going to lead into executions mentorship, and then a psychology mentorship. Guys, I want you to take advantage of these courses, right? Ask for the information, ask for the pricing, all that stuff. I'm here to help. So let's go ahead and get that done. So now that you know that, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and put that, the receipts here for those bottom side bounds, right? Just like this. And just like this here, and there could be that bounce. Of course, we're going to be facing a little bit of resistance here at the very top of the price action here, but right, very confluent 454 to that top bound of around 456. Of course, we got a little bit of resistance there. If we have any scalpers here, then that could be an area there for immediate take profit, right? And then continue on the day, right? So yes, this could be an area here where price pulls back into that 451 and continues towards the upside, thus validating here an inverse head and shoulders and a cup and handle formation, right? I am not the biggest fan of that cup and handle formation, but if we so have to, right, let's just go ahead and kind of give ourselves here a little bit of what that cup even means, right? So this is one of the bounds here for the cup and handle, and there actually could be a decline like this, right? A little bit of a regression from that cup. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do it just like that here, right? Just about like this is what I do believe that cup and handle is looking like. Now we take the trend line here from the center of the cup, right, all the way to the bottom side, and we apply it to the handle's top right about here at the center, right? So that's telling us here that we would reach a target of about $4.66. So that would be our immediate upside. If we're going to match this with absolute price action, then let's go ahead and use this resistance right up here and this support right back here, right? But both of these resistances, we're going to use them, all right? Measure it just like this and just like that. Let's see. I think we can make it all the way to that top side, right where this candle is. Yeah, so there's our upper bound probability, right? So this would be the second area here of take profit, and that would be from a psychological formation. Now, of course, we have a third formation here, or a second formation. In fact, that would be your inverse head and shoulders. So let's go ahead and determine what those targets can be as well, right? So we're just going to put this right here and right here, right? Now, let's go ahead and determine what that inverse head and shoulders would give us if we do get that pullback and we start seeing the exact price action meet the way that we are expecting it to, right? So here we go. We would take this right over here and plant it right at that center of the right-hand shoulder top bound, right? So that would be telling us that we would be getting about $4.74. There is an hourly gap here. So I'm going to use that gap bottom here, which is confluent to this bottom section here. And I'm going to use that as the top area for take profit, right? For the short-term traders, that is. So right about here to the low of this wick is going to be that range for take profit zones, right? So I'm talking about short-term traders. I'm not talking about anything else, right? So I'm going to mark these areas off as red, because if you are catching the entry areas down here at 445 to 448, then you're going to be taking advantage of these top side signals here for immediate short-term take profit, right? I would not suggest trading this asset too much, guys. This is very dangerous. It does have a little bit of a negative connotation. Of course, there's a lot of danger in line here with this asset, right? So this is what I'm thinking here, guys. Price action would essentially make this trajectory just like this, right? Immediate short-term time frame downside. Well, in fact, we would test the resistance. Then we would come back down to test this support area, entry, signal fire right about there. Continuation to the upside into this bound here. this would have us come right back down to this area and validate the resistance into support from this bound here, the two top bounds here, right? We would then create an upside continuation into this target here and zigzag around and continue, right? So something like that here is what I think could be happening. So please beware, please be very careful. And always remember, we are taking a look at these assets and trading them on a daily basis. So go ahead and use these links on the left-hand side because they will go away here pretty soon. This is your chance to get inside of the ARCa Bulls trading team, right? For a one-time fee forever. Trade with me for life, right? Good stuff, guys. So thank you so much. I think this is a pretty good place to leave off the video. And if you have any questions, you know where to reach me. The most important thing here is, guys, that I get you into that ARC Masters course. We are starting this Sunday. Make sure to get in there right away. The seats are getting taken, and we are starting here Sundays, right? And all right. So this is a pretty good place to leave off. I'll take care, and we'll talk very soon. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Ever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well. A very, very good rest of your night and or day. And I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios, team. Let's go.